Hey, how's it going? David Taub here with Epic Guitar Instruction. Hope all's going well, and I hope your guitar and musical journey is going famously. From the Steve Miller Band, and this is the second single from their 9th studio record, Fly Like an Eagle, from 1976. And this song is in standard A440 tuning, so go ahead and tune your guitars low to high E, A, D, G, B, and E. Tempo-wise, it's a moderate rock song, about 120 beats per minute, and it's in 4/4 time. And it's a pretty simple song. There's just 3 parts to it. There's the intro, which is repeated again later in the song, like used as the interlude, but it's basically the same parts. And then there's all the verses and all the choruses. If you're having a little trouble fingering these power fifth chords or bar chords, or you're having trouble changing from bars to opens, things like that, I could really help you with that. Tell you what, click on that link in the YouTube description box below, and I'll send you a killer free video lesson. It's extended play. It's not on YouTube. It'll really get your bar chord playing and changing to the next level. It's packed with technique tips and killer exercises, right? And I'll pair it with an ebook, which has more exercises, more lessons. It's a killer 1-2 punch. I'll send them both to you for free. Video lesson and ebook. Just click on that link below. So the song starts with that trademark intro. Break it up into a few pieces. Here's the first part. You want to finger this like almost like an A bar chord, but you don't have to bar it. You could just play the bottom 4 strings, right? And what you want to do is you want to hit that low E string, maybe even the E and the A. You could hit them both, and then hit the D and the G, and then you hit the A string. That kind of thing. I mean, you could just hit all 3 of them. It doesn't have to be exact, but what I hear more is this. Then you just move up this A chord from the 5th fret to the 7th fret, and that's a B5, B5th power chord. So the power chord shape that you're going to need for this song that's used a lot is this one. You could do it with 2 and with 3 fingers. If you just do the 2-finger version like we'll need in the verses and the choruses, an A 5th chord, 1st finger low E string on the 5th fret, and then on the A string, and that's the low E string, and then the A string, you just go over 2 frets and down a string, and you're going to play the 5th, which in this instance is you're playing the E note, which is 7th fret on the A string. So you get this shape, right? That's an A 5th power chord, A, because it's off of this root note here, your A note. So if you take that and you move it up a whole step, that's B, B 5th. If you back it up, that's an A sharp or B flat 5th power chord. Now you could add your pinky finger right under your 3rd finger on that D string, right? And then you're just repeating the A note, the octave. That gives the chord a little bit more girth. You usually have 3 notes instead of 2, but it's still considered a 5th chord or a power chord. Okay, now you're also going to need this one, which if you drop this shape down 1 string each finger, it's the same shape played off of the 5th string root. So for instance, you'll need this chord, which is your E 5th power chord, so we're not playing the low E string now. 1st finger's now on the A string at the 7th fret, and do the same shape. 3rd finger, 1 string down, 2 frets over, so that would be at the 9th fret on the D string, and you could add that 9th fret G string with your pinky if you want to. That's an E 5th power chord. See, it's the same shape no matter where you move these around, right? So you want to keep that shape together because we're going to need that throughout the song. So here's the first one. And you slide out of it. When you're sliding out, you're kind of going chromatically down. 7th fret, 6th fret, 5th fret, and slide. Okay, now here's the second one. And all I'm doing there is I'm playing that B 5th again, and then drop that straight down like I showed you to the E 5th power chord. Do that twice, then back to the B, and then you slide. Slide out of it. So if you put 2 together slow. Okay, now the third thing that you have to do is that trademark lick that he plays. Alright, so what you want to do there is bar with your first finger on the A, D, and G strings at the 9th fret. Okay, now you're going to leave that down, and as you're holding that down, you're going to hit all 3 strings, and then you're going to come down with your 3rd finger and hammer on at the 11th fret. And that's the sound you want. So you're doing a 9 to 11 hammer on the A string, but you're barring so the other 2 strings are ringing. So that's the move. Now, after you do the hammer, then you just go right down and you hit the 9th fret, leaving that first finger barred. So you play those 2 notes, 9th fret on the D and G. And you let this ring out as you're doing. You're not doing this. You're letting them ring. That's the sound, but you do it, build up the speed, and you do it 5 times. Okay, and then once you build up that speed, and then you go back to the B chord, and you slide out. I'll play those first 3 slow. Alright, and then the second time around, change a little bit, do a little chuck, so just mute the strings, and then 2 hits on that A5th power chord. Right to the B5th and slide. And then the same thing on the B to E5th, and then the same thing again on the lick, and then he does it again. Last time, same thing, first 2. Same thing with the lick. But this time he does this. Into the first verse. Alright, so after this 3rd time after you play, you're going to play this lick. Okay, so 2nd fret low E, 5th fret low E, 2nd fret A, 5th fret A with vibrato. And then 5th fret low E, 7th fret low E with vibrato. So far? Then you repeat the first 1, 2, 3, 4 notes again, and then you do this. Okay, you play that 5th power chord on the A 5th, then go up chromatically, half a step, A sharp 5th, and B 5th, and then you start the rhythm for the first verse. So that last part, okay? Then we're into the first verse. And if you got a second, please subscribe to the channel. You know, subscribing to the channel really helps us to keep bringing the content. And ring that subscription bell, because then you'll be notified when we have new lessons posted. Also, leave a comment below. Let us know how you like this lesson. Let us know what lessons you'd like to see coming up. And if you like the video, please click the like button. Give it a thumbs up, share it, and thank you so much for your support. So all we have left is the verses and the choruses, and they're all based off of the same progression. So the verses, let me play you the verses. I'll play it 1 time around, and I'll go back and explain it. It'll sound like this. Right from that chromatic movement. Alright, and then it repeats again. Alright, so what we're doing is basically we're playing this B5th power chord with an embellishment, and then we're taking that down a whole step to the A 5th power chord and embellishment, and then to the E5th power chord. Now the E5th power chord, all you have to do is play the low E and that B note, 2nd fret on the A string. You just play those 2 together. I flatten my finger and bar it. Okay, and he's doing E5th and embellishment. And for all of these, he's palm muting it. He's not playing it wide open. He kind of just lays his hand on the strings. And you can experiment. You could do it really heavy or light. Okay? Now, he's embellishing the chord in the verses with a sixth chord. So he's playing the fifth, and then he's playing the sixth. And in the chorus, he adds the seventh, but we'll get to that with the chorus. So what you're going to do is you're going to need to stretch. So basically, you're going to leave your first and third fingers down in the power chord shape, right? So you're playing B5, and then to play B6, what you're going to do is you're going to add your pinky to the 11th fret, to that A flat note on the A string. A little bit of a stretch. And so you're basically playing low E string at the 7th and A string at the 11th. But leave this finger down. You could do it with your second or your third. I use my third. And here's the rhythm. And if you want to count that, it's straight eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and when I was doing that, and sounds really ridiculous, but that's when you pepper in that sixth chord. Right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? And then you just take that and you move that down to the 5th fret and you do the exact same thing, except this time you're playing the A5 and you have to stretch a little bit more because the frets are a little further apart, and you stretch to the 9th fret to get that A6. Same exact rhythm. 1 and embellish and 2 and embellish and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then when you go down to the E5, right, you're going to embellish it by adding, it's a little easier, you don't have to stretch as far. So to add the 6th in the key of E, you have to add the C sharp note, which is at the 4th fret of the A string. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Right? So if I do the whole thing slow. And then the whole thing starts over again. And that's all the verses. They're all the same pretty much. And the last part of the song is that catchy chorus, right? Like all the Steve Miller songs have. They all have that catchiness to them, that hook somewhere. It's basically the same progression as far as a matter of time and measures on the B5, the A5, and the E5, and back to the B5. Except this time, he's embellishing with the B5, B6, but he adds the 7th. Right? So you're going to have to stretch a little further. Now, you don't necessarily have to do this. You could just get by rockin' me part using the 5th and the 6th, and you could do the same exact rhythm as the verses. You could do that for the chorus, but open it up a little bit. See, it's not as palm muted. But if you listen to the record, I could hear it. It's definitely in there. He's definitely adding that 7th. So what you do to do the B7th is you have your B6, which is at the 11th fret. You got to stretch to the 12th fret. And now you got the B7, which basically is 9th fret with your first finger, low E, 12th fret with your pinky on the A string. All right? And he puts that in at the end of each chord. So it kind of sounds like this. Okay? So you notice same thing as the verses, but the third time you go from the 6th to that 7th. And then back to the 6th. Here it is slow. And you do the same thing on the A5, but this time for the 6th you got to stretch all the way to that 10th fret to get the 7th. It's a little bit more of a stretch. It'll sound like this. See, same exact space that you're putting it in. Okay, now when you go to the E5, you're going to do the same thing. See, you're embellishing here, but this time all you have to do is you have to grab with your pinky. There's the 4th, which 4th fret is this, at the A string is the 6th, 5th fret at the A string is your 7th. He does one other little embellishment too, which I'll show you in a second. But if I do that one time around, it'll sound like this. Okay, and you probably heard the last thing he does is he does this little embellishment where he's playing the 7th, but he kind of does like 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down, up, down, up, down on that 7th chord. And listen to the recording, you'll hear it. I'll try to do it slow. It'll sound like this. The last time he does the B before the progression starts over again. And that's pretty much all the parts to the song. Have fun with that one. Add it to your song catalog. Stay tuned because I got tons more killer lessons, songs, and content coming up here on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. That really helps us to keep bringing the content, and ring that subscription bell. Then you'll be notified when we have new lessons posted. Also, don't forget to click on that link in the YouTube description box below. I'll send you a free video lesson, an ebook. It's not on YouTube, but it'll really get your bar chord playing and changing blasted to the next level. And if you want to check out some of my original music, I recently dropped a new record with my original band Mind Cell. We're based out of San Diego, California. I'm really stoked about the record. It's totally slamming, I think. I'd love for you to hear it. It's streaming on all the platforms. I'll put links to all that in the YouTube description box below also. Check it out. And then if you have any questions on the songs or maybe the gear I use or the studio recording techniques, drop me a line. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching this video, and thank you so much for your support over the years and years. So appreciated. Keep up all that hard work on those guitars. Keep having fun with them. And remember, your guitar playing is an evolution. So enjoy the journey. Take care, rock on. See you in the next lesson.